of the Go Agency, which I'll talk about in a second. I'm also the author of The Go Method, which is a book explaining the 22 simple steps to creating a social media strategy that works. That's available on Amazon as well as our publisher Blurb. I'm also a teacher at the Social Marketing Academy. Just a little bit about the Social Marketing Academy. It is an interactive online and offline education subscription service. I'll be talking about that a little bit later, and also there'll be some information popping up on your screens to learn a little bit more about that. So that will come later. And I'm also the host of the Social Marketing Academy radio show. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to our podcast, but we have 15-minute shows twice a week packed with great information. So I'll put up some information about that later as well through the Social Marketing Academy. Just click around and we have, I think I've done over 300 or 400 shows by now. So lots of free content on demand on iTunes and Blog Talk Radio. Now, the Go Agency is an online marketing agency. We specialize in social media. We also do website design, graphic design, consulting, training, and a whole lot more. So we are sponsoring this free webinar for you today so we can help you better create content. One of my biggest pieces of passion with why I started the Go Agency 6 years ago was to help businesses of all different sizes. And you're all out there because I've seen the list of everyone that's going to be attending, and I can see the people that are in the room now. We have a great cross-section of people that are really interesting and engaging with their target audience online, right? So I am going to be here to help you because I'm super passionate about helping businesses grow. So let's just jump into this. So what is this class going to cover? First off, we're going to start off with a definition of social media content. What is social media content? Why do I need it? Why do I care? Well, you better care because it's a big, big piece of your social media puzzle. Second, we'll move on to what type of content is best for your business. So what exactly should I be sharing with my audience? If I'm a company that's doing X, how do I hit my target Y? I'm going to tell you all about that. And all of the steps here are going to be step-by-step and packed with examples. So this will be super easy to understand and easy to apply. Now we're going to talk about how to develop your own content, writing your own things, as well as saving time by curating content. What is curating content and how can you make it work for your business? We're going to talk about all this stuff, as well as the secret to social media content success. Now, I'm not saying social media success overall because there's lots of different factors. Remember, when it comes to social media, there is no golden egg. There's lots of different things that you have to put into your marketing puzzle on social media to make it work. But when it comes to content, I have one of the secrets to success. So, one thing I want to mention to you is that if you look to the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see lots of different options. One, obviously, a lot of you have been using already is putting in content. So you can put in comments. You can also ask questions. So if you want to ask a question, I will do my best to answer it in real time while I'm presenting this with you. And please, ask away. You have me for an hour. This is an hour free consultation on anything content related. I want to keep it really focused on content so we can all learn within the same niche we're discussing today. Also, I'm going to throw up some handy dandy polls just to get the the temperature in the room, how everyone feels about it, so you don't feel left out. So, for example, if I say, "Hey, are you using Pinterest or Instagram?" and everyone says Instagram, and you're using Pinterest, you might be like, "Okay, well maybe that's something I need to look into." So it's a good way of increasing the educational content of this for you. I'm also going to be sharing some of my own questions to you just to see how you're understanding the content, because I don't want to slow down the presentation of this for you. So I'm just going to be typing while I'm going to be presenting to try to get everything covered. There'll also be special offers peppered in throughout. They'll be up for just a short period of time because I don't want them to distract from our overall class, but there's some really great things in there, including the Social Marketing Academy link to join us up there for absolutely for free. So just pay attention for that one, and please do click and sign up. If you do click any of the links, they'll open up in another window so you will not lose your place here. Okay? Please, I want this to be interactive as possible, so don't hold back. Please ask any questions that you have, and I will do my best to answer them. All right, folks. Let's do it. Let's go to work. It's time to start. So, What is content? All right. Well, let's go to our old buddy, the dictionary. Gosh, when's the last time anybody's used a dictionary? It's been a long time. I'm very interested to know. I should make that into a poll, actually. But the definition in the dictionary of content are things that are held or included in something, or the substance or material dealt with in a speech, literary work, etc., as distinct from its form and style. Okay, that sounds really confusing, dictionary. Thank you for really clearing that up for us. I think the real crux and thrust of what content is can be found through the synonyms. Synonyms for content. So subject matter, subject, theme, thesis, message, thrust. Are we seeing a commonality amongst all of these elements? Message, thrust, substance, matter, material, text, ideas. So content, through the dictionary's eyes, are all of these things, all of these different little pieces. But what they do is they all provide an overriding message that you would be sharing with your target audience. Okay? You with me here? So let's go on to what is social media content. Now, this is what we're talking about here. We're not talking about the thrust and the thesis and all those goodies, those synonyms we're listing. I want to talk about what are actual examples of social media content. Now, this is where you should start taking notes and start thinking critically about how you relate to this topic, because we're going to be going through and giving some examples of each one of these. So I'm just preparing you for this. All right. First off, these are all of the different examples of social media content. So we have our text, we have our links, we have our pictures, videos, we have polls, quotes, quizzes, and there's lots more. But we only have an hour, so how am I going to get through every possible type of social media content? Because I don't have promotions here. I don't have sales. There's lots more. But what I really want to focus here is enough for you to get started with in your content mix. So why don't we start off? Let's kick it off with text. Text and links. Oh, gotta love a Wookiee, right? So we're going to be using an example throughout this entire presentation of Thompson Toys. Thompson Toys, so everybody knows, is a completely fictional company that I made up, probably because my last name is Tompkins, right? And everyone calls me Thompson anytime I sign up to anything. I'm Christopher Thompson. But it is a fictional toy retailer like Toys R Us, something like that. And they have an online store, much like Toys R Us, where you can order your toys. So, an example here with text and links is, have you seen our new selection of Star Wars memorabilia? Feed your inner Wookiee with these new products, just in, and then the link to where those toys can be located. So right here, in terms of your social media content, you have a promotional message informing your consumer about a new product and then sharing a link as to where they can find it. This is considered a push message, but we will talk about those later, so that's not something you need to be concerned with. Next up, pictures. Do you know that adding text to your pictures will help double your efforts? And what I mean there is that if straight across the bottom of this image here, where the wood grain is underneath our mascot, oh, by the way, that's our mascot for the Go Agency. He's called the Go Agent. You can see a lot of his travels and exciting times, let's just say, on our Instagram channel for the Go Agency. But we wanted to use this image here because when we add the Go Agent to any of our updates, we increase, I would say, the stickiness of an engagement on our posts by about 40 to 60%, depending on when the post is sent out. So that's one way of, this is social media content, but it's also a great way to optimize your posts on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, etc. Now, if you want to really get in there, you can put a little caption and you can write it right on where that wood grain is on that picture. And that would even help engage your audience even more, because now not only can they see the cute image, you can put a witty caption that could really engage. So, for example, on this picture, what I could do is I could type underneath the Go Agent, The Go agent never gets enough caffeine in the morning. This is his double fisting caffeine moment. So here he is. 2 caffeinated beverages, very cute. We're an online marketing company, so we drink coffee to keep alert, and it works with the brand. So you have to find something that works with you, and then that will really help with your social media content. Another one going on from the whole visual aspect is video. So you can upload or link to a video, and this could help your content get 60% more engagement. Now, videos are great, and videos are pretty rare for a lot of companies because, come on, I should actually do a poll about that as well. How many companies have time to actually do a video, actually create one? Because I think one of the biggest barriers to entry on a video is having the time. You have to come up with a concept. You have to figure out how to work a camera. Is the lighting making you look old? Make you look tired? Is it you know what I mean? There's lots of different features. Also, there's a lot of ego that goes into video. So if you're doing it, I'm as guilty as everybody else here. If I wanted to do a video, I have to have the right lighting, and it's like, oh, I feel fat, or I look tired, or is my hair right, or I'm wearing the right. All of these things are barriers to entry. But I'm telling you, if you do have video, it's a wonderful piece to put into your content mix for social media content. Then put that video onto social media. And if you actually upload your video directly to Facebook, this is kind of a side tip. If you upload your video directly to Facebook, you will get more hits to that video rather than if you were to upload it to YouTube and share the link. Facebook is now favoring videos that are uploaded directly to Facebook. Just so keep that in mind. If you're doing a video, get the raw file that or the final edit, and upload it directly to Facebook so that you can really maximize the amount of views. So, and notice when you're scrolling through the Facebook timeline how you're not seeing so many videos from YouTube. You're seeing a lot of those autoplay. The autoplay videos are mostly from Facebook, being uploaded directly to Facebook. All right, folks, keep the questions coming. I am trying to get to as many as possible. There's more polls on the way. Speaking of polls, is this the segue of the century? It sure is. Polls! Polls are a great way to get people excited. And you can also gather useful information that can help you market more effectively. Now, for example, the polls that we're going to be sharing throughout this webinar are ones to help engage you in the information and help you learn more about it. Because I think interactivity is really important when it comes to education, because I just love helping people understand these concepts. Because as you can see, social media content, while we've already been in this for 15 minutes or so, we've gone through some easy content types that you're very familiar with that you may not have thought of as social media content. So polls is another one. You can do polls. You don't have to have any fancy plugins or anything like that. You can just say, hey folks, what do you think about this topic? Do you A, agree with it, B, disagree with it, C, don't have any real feeling about it? Obviously you want to make that a little bit more sophisticated, but you can create polls to really engage your audience. Also, if you want to test, you're developing a new product, maybe a subscription service. You might want to ask your audience if they would be interested in a subscription service like that. And then once you get that answer, you can ask them another question and another question. And this is a great way of helping bring your target audience closer to you, as well as learning more information about what they're interested in and what you can do with them. The next one is one of my favorites, and at the Go Agency, we love doing these for our clients. As you can see on the logo here, we have the Social Marketing Academy logo, and we do these for our clients. It's just so much fun choosing the images and finding the quotes. Quotes are great social media content. So if you share some inspiring information that engages your audience, that's terrific. Now, quotes are different than images because obviously, your quotes can be enhanced by putting them on top of an image. Just like we were talking about before with that Go Agent, we're talking about on this slide right here. Now, if we were to put text on that, that would enhance it. This is an example of what I was talking about there. We've taken two different content types and put them together. So we have the social media, we have the quote that's inspiring. So you can't sell anything if you can't tell anything. That's a perfect one for the Social Marketing Academy because we're trying to have get people educated in social media and how to share content and engage. So find a quote that's right for your business that your audience would be interested in, and then share it. If you add it on an image, even better. And you can find all these images. You can find lots of images, quote images on Google. So a Google search will help you with that. Another great one are quizzes. So here's one for Thompson Toys. When it comes to classic board games, what do you prefer? Scrabble, Monopoly, Life. This is a fine line between a poll and a quiz, to be honest. But what I could do to this is I could take this and turn this into a quiz. So what I wanted to do here is I wanted to show you how you can transition your content as well, much like I was showing you in the pictures. So if I take the example for Thompson Toys, when it comes to classic board games, which do you prefer? Then what you would do is you would ask that as a poll. Once you get that as a poll, and maybe B is the number one answer. How I would transition that content would be, Monopoly was created in what year? Then it's a quiz. So you've already polled your audience about what they prefer the most, and then you're giving them a quiz based on that information. Now, by doing that, you know what they're interested in. They're interested in Monopoly. So if I was interested in Monopoly and I did your poll, I would love to know the quiz answer. So I'm going to be checking back until you post it. So what you do is you post that open-ended quiz. Monopoly was created in what year? And then you wait for your answers to come in. After the answers come in for a little while, you let the quiz play out, and then all of a sudden you answer it. So do you see how that really brings it to life? Also, how you can transition content. So right here on this page, this is what's written on here is an example of a poll. But what I was showing you was how to transition that to a quiz, much like I did with the picture. Okay, so those are a lot of great different types of social media content. But what's right for you? You know, everyone is very unique. And I say that not to BS you. I believe it. Every single business is unique. Every single business, you could have 20 businesses lined up that are identical on paper, but there's something that makes each one of those different. Is it the staff? Is it the ethos? Is it the ethical makeup? Is it a political leaning? There's always something that makes your business unique. But the first thing you need to know is, who is your target market? Come on, folks. You have to define who your target market is. Without doing this, it's very, very tricky to target anybody. Now, one of the things I hear a lot is when I'm consulting or training, whatever, I always ask the person or the people that I'm interviewing or talking to, who is your target market? And if they say anybody with money, that's not how it goes. That is not going to work anymore, especially if you're going to talk to me directly after that, saying that about social media. Because social media isn't just let's throw a whole bunch of stuff out there and against the wall and see what works. Because social media takes time. And you don't have a lot of time, right, folks? Who has time to just throw out a whole bunch of ideas and just see if everything works and constantly be in testing mode? You want to grab your laser pointer and point it directly at that person that you want to target. And then that's how we proceed. So, obviously, that's a tricky thing to do for a lot of us because we're busy, we're inundated, we don't have enough time for it. So, who are you trying to attract? Let's dig into this and try to get it together. This is super important with content, folks. So I'm not just jumping around here. If you do not know who you're trying to target, how are you going to write something to them? How are you going to write a love letter to a person you've never met? You know what I mean? You need to know who your audience is. So have you previously defined your target market? If you have, take a look at it and then you constantly review it. Just because 10 years ago your target market was X, it could have moved to a Y, or it could be XYZ now. So you can't just find your target market once and then, we're all done here. That's not how it works. So let's go to the next question. Who buys your product or uses your service? You'd be surprised at how many companies that I've spoken to over the years that had no idea who buys their products, who uses their services. All they're doing is taking orders. Now, I love that because you're busy. But when that busyness starts to plateau, you're going to be scrambling to figure out what you need to do. It's always so important to just really understand who is spending money with you, who is transacting with you. And then you have to find the commonality amongst those people. So if you're doing, if we're talking about Thompson Toys, and we're thinking, okay, well, it's going to be new parents is the biggest money or grandparents. Let's say grandparents because they spoil their kids, spoil their grandkids. Well, I'm seeing that it's a lot of single mothers when I'm looking at who's actually buying my product. And I can tell from doing some demographic research, doing some online research, and then I see that I have to change some of my marketing. I have to change some of my advertising. And by doing all this, I'm saving money by not dumping it into the wrong market. All right? This is more marketing talk here. But if you don't know who you're trying to attract, how are you going to make any money, folks? Come on. So, is there a new market that you're trying to break into? Maybe there's a new product that you're going to be developing based on a new target market. Well, define the target market and you'll help better define your product. Also, analyze your customer data. This is super important. You have to analyze your customer data. If you don't look through your email lists and you don't look through your order forms and you're not looking through all the data that you're taking out of your clients, how are you going to know what works? So if a client calls you, are you asking them where they heard from you, where they heard of you from, rather? Are you saying, and they say, oh, social media. Are you saying, oh, is it our Facebook page or did you find us on Twitter? Because maybe you're a company that only has those two. So you need to gather as much information as possible because this is how you're going to develop your content and your social media approach. Just going and saying, all right, we're gonna do Facebook today, okay? We're gonna launch a Facebook campaign, folks. Do it. That is a time waster. You need to know so many things before you push a button on any of that. Your company is so valuable and everything about your company is super important. So you need to know these things before you move on. Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox, folks. But here are some other things that will really help you define. Now, location is a really big factor in finding your target market. So where are they specifically located? These are all items that I would look into if I was trying to locate my target market. So obviously zip code, city, state, region, country, international maybe, if maybe there's other countries that they're a part of, or you're targeting maybe Spain and Italy, maybe, who knows, maybe Russia, maybe Canada. So you need to put all of those into your target market document. Now, as you can see, I kind of grew from the top to the bottom, so you're getting small to large. Depending on your business and you're writing content, you have to think about, am I going to be writing content for my next door neighbor, or is it for the whole city, or is it for the whole region? Because by defining your location, you can also define a language style. So people in the Northeast communicate slightly different than the people in the Southeast. So you have to kind of know those nuances of your target market. And I'm not saying you have to be a psychiatrist to do this. This is what marketers have been doing for decades. So this is not a new concept. But what I'm asking you to do is go through this analysis so that when you develop your content, it makes sense. Now, what is the age and sex of your target market? Is it mostly male, mostly female? What age range? Maybe 35 to 45, 45 and up, 60 plus. Are you shooting for a younger market, a tween market? You really need to define this. And here's the good thing. You can name more than one. So just be careful that you're not saying male and female of any age. Because that's not targeting. That's saying everyone that can breathe is my target market. And I think that's gallant of you to think that. But it's going to waste your time and money. If you're focusing and you're developing your content around one certain market, it's just going to be so much easier to engage with them on social media through your content. Folks, keep the questions coming in. Keep them coming in. More polls to come as well. Just keep a look at the running tab of comments and everything on the right-hand side of your screen. Let's move on to our next one. Where are they online? This is super important. Okay, and there's a couple other steps that go along with this, but where they are online, your target market, where they're active is important. If your market is not active on YouTube or Instagram, then and they're very active on Facebook, why would you go on YouTube and Instagram? Now, of course, you'd want to go in there and claim your social media real estate, meaning you'd want to get your extension as well as, so for example, for the Go Media or Go Agency, youtube.com/the Go Agency. You want to be able to get that domain extension on YouTube, on any of the sites, on the social media sites that you can. And that's just to protect yourself in case someone comes in there and they do a spammy account and then it reflects poorly on you. But I wouldn't spend my time marketing on those accounts if I can go to Facebook and really come up with a wonderful content strategy and mix that engages my audience. And then it's gangbusters. But the worst thing you could do, unless you outsource the work to a team that can handle it, like the Go Agency, if you're doing Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, you're doing everything, you're doing nothing. Because unless you have a team that is skilled at delivering that, you're watering down your staff by giving them so many different social media things. If this is a marketing department function, this is just me being honest with you folks. If I was head of marketing and I was tasked with doing all of the social media, all of the press releases, all of this, and I had a department of 2 people, it's impossible. Those people aren't going to last very long. They're going to burn out very quickly. Social media is a real-time game. So pinpoint where your audience is and start there. You can always grow, but retracting is difficult, okay? Because consistency is a big thing here. Now, are you still not sure? Still not sure who that target market person really is. Who am I actually aiming for? I just have no idea. Well, let's do this. Let's do a competitive social media analysis. Oh, okay, collective awe over the 2 boys, young boys arm wrestling. That's just too cute. But anyway, I couldn't resist, sorry. So, social media analysis is wonderful. So, what I want you to do is make a list of 5 direct competitors. Those are people that are in direct competition for your target market dollars. Like if you are you're selling to Barbara and the company right next to you is selling to Barbara, you're in direct competition. You both want to get her dollar for the same product. Then you want to locate your competitors' social media profiles and then analyze their audience as well as their activity. So this sounds like a lot of things to really come up with, but how about if I break it down through an example? I think that would make it easier for us all to understand. So let's take a look at this right here. Actually, one more thing. Let's just go real quick. 5 direct competitors, locate their social media profiles, and analyze their audience and activity. Okay? This is what this will look like for you. So, and with the example of Thompson Toys, with the stuffed dog trying to escape desperately from that toy chest, it looks like it's filled with colored foam balls. The competitors for Thompson Toys are Johnson Toys, Mac Inc., Beverly Pop Toy Co., Konamo, and Chuck and Fun. Now, obviously, these are all fictional, right? So, Johnson Toys has a Facebook account and a Twitter account. Mac Inc. has a Facebook and Twitter. Beverly Pop Toy Co. has Facebook. And then Konamo's in Facebook and Instagram. They're going a different direction. And Chuck and Fun has Facebook. So, one of the things that I would see personally is that the one common factor amongst all of those 5 examples is Facebook. So that would be my starting point because every one of my direct competitors have it. So what I would do is I would go into Facebook. I would open up each one of these 5 companies in separate tabs with my own company, Thompson Toys, as one of them. So you'd have 6 tabs in total open on Facebook, and then click in between each one and take a look and see what you see. What do their pictures look like? What do their cover images look like? What do their logos look like? Are they low res? Are they all pixelated? How many likes do they have in total? How many people are engaged with their page through likes? How many videos are they sharing? Are they sharing any pictures? How many people are liking posts, sharing posts, and commenting on posts? Are there any sort of engagement between, say, for example, number 1, Johnson Toys and their audience? So is Johnson Toys putting out a status update on Facebook and it's DOA. People maybe like it or share it, but no one's actually commenting. Maybe Mac Inc. on their page, Mac Inc. will put out a post, and then they will say something, and someone will comment, and then Mac Inc. will go in and comment, and then someone else will comment, and then someone else, and then Mac will jump back in. Okay, well that looks like they know they have a more engaged audience. So then I would look and see what kind of content that they're sharing. Now, this is how you do this competitive analysis. This is for social media entirely, but what we're doing here is I'm trying to focus on the content. So the content of the page would be the images, the videos. So for example, the notes that I've got from looking through this as Thompson Toys is they all use a lot of images. And they use a lot of images of toys, their products, happy children, children playing in the field with frisbees or whatever. Families with board games, lots of stuff. They also do lots of videos. So for example, how to do-it-yourself projects and how to make your own toys, how to make your own science experiments possibly. Konamo is a very technical brand. So they show how to maybe hack a couple video games, maybe how to beat certain levels. So lots of videos. They're all stronger on Facebook than any other site. So after I looked through Facebook, I took a look at Twitter and Instagram for the ones that had it. I just found that it was a little lackluster. Didn't really have a lot of excitement. I'd probably focus on Facebook. They post twice a day on average, which is good. So maybe I should try maybe twice a day because their engagement looks pretty good. They do lots of polls and they frequently use links, hashtags, and tagging in their posts. This is all really solid information that you can take away and apply to your content. I'm not saying steal content. I'm not saying that you should plagiarize anything. I'm not saying take their pictures and use them because they're better. I'm saying use their ideas and concepts to learn from. This is how people get inspired. I mean, as a business person or as a professional in your field, there has to be someone in your field that inspires you. Or maybe it's a mentor. Maybe it's a business person. I know a lot of people and small business entrepreneurs are inspired with, Steve Jobs and are inspired with Richard Branson and the type. But everyone has their own. Neither of those really super inspire me. But, to each his own. So look at that and, how you learn from those people. You can do the same thing with a competitive analysis. Just because they're competitors does not mean they're wrong. If they're doing something right and you're not doing it, then hey, why don't you give it a try? Now, another way of doing it is to monitor brands. Now, this is what we're talking about in terms of an indirect competitor. So make a list of 5 brands that are indirect competitors. So if I'm selling, let's say, teddy bears. Well, an indirect competitor to me could be Hershey bars because kids love Hershey bars. If my target market is 8-year-old boys or 7-year-old boys. 7-year-old boys like chocolate and candy, and they also like teddy bears. So that could be an indirect competitor for me if I was a teddy bear brand. Then locate their social media profiles and analyze their audience and activity. So what does this look like? For Thompson Toys, these are the indirect competitors for them. The brands that we're following: Cartoon Network, Pizza Hut, Water Splash Palace, Chuck E. Cheese, and Lunchables. Those are 5 indirect competitors of Thompson Toys because they do take market share away from my company. So they're not direct, they're indirect. So I took a look at them. What did they have? Pretty much, once again, Facebook was the winner across the board. Everyone had Facebook. And a lot more had Twitter. So we had Cartoon Network, Pizza Hut, and Lunchables that had Twitter. And then we had an Instagram and a Pinterest. So what I noticed from their content by looking through all these different pages is that they use a fun and jovial tone in their content. They're being really up and they're being fun with everything that they put out across the board. And they use lots of videos and pictures. It's a super duper visual audience, this. So I'm thinking that when I'm looking on the pages, I'm seeing short cartoons for the Cartoon Network. I'm seeing fun ads on how to make pizza sauce or how they make a pizza at Pizza Hut. On Water Splash Palace, it could be people going down slides, or have you seen our new slide? It has a 100, 200 foot drop or whatever. Chuck E. Cheese, the same thing. Lunchables, it could be the same thing. It could be something about parents cooking with children. There's lots of things that you can do here. So if you look at these different brands, there's lots of ideas that could be useful for mine, Thompson Toys, right? Because if I'm doing toys, a lot of these things kind of fall into it in some way or another. So for example, maybe Pizza Hut is not the ideal content resource for me, but maybe they're doing how-tos. Maybe Lunchables are doing the same thing. They're both doing how-tos on families cooking together. Maybe at Thompson Toys, I sell a whole range of products that involve cooking with your children, or easy bake ovens even. We remember those. So that's a product I could tie into it. And I could do how-to videos with one of my toys that I sell at Thompson Toys. I could pick up that easy bake oven. I could have people, we could video it with a parent and a child, a boy and a mom, or a girl and a mom, whatever, or a dad, and have them make brownies using the easy bake oven. At the very end, you could click the link and get one yourself. So can you see how I did that there? I took other content ideas from an indirect competitor and I applied it to my own brand. When you're doing this process, what you want to do is you want to take these ideas and then switch them to your audience through your own voice. So it's almost a pivot. So if you're having trouble coming up with content, your indirect competitors are great places to go, especially if you don't feel comfortable at first looking at direct competitors and taking some ideas and trying to kind of move them around and mold them organically. Going indirect can sometimes make you feel a little bit more comfortable. So let's move on from this concept. I think that we pretty much get it. I'm telling you, this type of analysis is super valuable. And if someone has all these engagement points, all this audience, obviously, if they're a larger, well-known brand, they're going to be more successful than you. But they have teams of people trying to figure out what works online. So if you're just a 2 or 3 person marketing department, or you're a solopreneur, this is just great information to glean from. All right, folks, keep everything coming in. We're moving through. We're actually at I'm trying to check my clock here. I think we're just past the halfway point. We have about 20 minutes or so left on this. We have some great things going on for the second half, especially this graphic, which will pop your eyes out. It's so bright. Enough is enough. How much content do you need? So now you know who your target audience is. You kind of know what sort of content is working through your 2 different analyses. Now, what kind of content do you want to add into that mix? And these are lots of different things that you could do. You could do company news, events, promotions, news stories, tips, blogs, pictures, videos, quotes, polls. Now, this is a slight pivot to what we were talking about earlier when we're talking about social media content, right? I've added a couple different things in here because remember when I mentioned it earlier, I said, and many more. Well, company news is part of that more. Events, promotions, news stories, tips articles, blogs. Those are all additional content types that you can add to your mix. Now, it's tricky to figure out how to get the mix right. So let's go and figure out what is the right mix when it comes to social media content. And this is one of my firm beliefs. It is at a minimum 60% pull and 40% push. I like to see the pull number as high as possible and the push number as low as possible because that indicates an engaged brand on social media because they don't have to constantly sell. Now, for those of you that are new to this concept, don't worry, I'm going to explain it right now. So let's go. What is push? Push messages are your company pushing your ideas onto your audience. So, it is a promotional statement. So it is really promoting your company in an open way. You're not baiting and switching. You're just saying, hey, got a sale. You got to click here, buy this now, new product available, click and get yours. Have you heard about our new service? Click to learn more. Get started today, call for a consultation, those type of things. I'll go through a whole list of these, so don't worry about it. Then we're going to go into pull messages. Pull messages are the ones that I love, and so does social media. because they're engaging, helpful, and enriching content. You're pulling your audience closer. Who does not want to pull their audience closer? Who wants to keep them at a distance? If you are on social media, you got to love your audience and you want them as close as possible. These are non-promotional as well. Pull is the number one way to engage your audience. Once your audience is engaged, finds you credible, sees that you're visible, so you're in their feed quite a bit because they've engaged with you, then you can start putting in lots of pull. But I think for starters, when I say this number right here, 60-40, this is a good starter because you have to learn how to develop both of these types of content. Then, as time goes on, you see what mix is perfect for you. So, if we go down and we go to examples of push examples for Thompson Toys, hey, my company, it's back again. So, we are having a flash sale this Friday. Click the following link and add the code FLASH at checkout to receive 20% off your order. Okay, here is a wonderful tip. This is an exclusive tip from me to you. If you can read, I'm going to read the second two push examples for you as well, and then the pull, and see how these sound. These sound like, bored with your current board games? Try Masters of Illusion, the brand new offering from Toyco. If you can read it like that, it's promotional. It's a push message. Even if you're trying to read it, did you know that our online orders ship faster than Amazon? Learn how we do it here. There's no way you can read it. Did you know that our online orders ship faster than Amazon? Learn how we do it here. So as you can see, these are promotional. These are obviously promotional, and they're not wrong. There's value in these. So don't think I'm down on push messages. What I want to get across is that nobody wants all of your updates to be looking like this. They can't look like sale. Click here, buy this, do this, do this, do that. It's annoying. And let's be honest. Would you do it? If you were if you were following a Twitter account, every single post was self-promotional, you'd probably get ignored. You'd either ignore them, you'd unfollow them. On Facebook, you might unlike them. You never know what people are doing in your audience because of your content, because they're not telling you. A lot of people will tell you, hey, this is terrible, because people love to complain online. But let me tell you this, folks, when it comes to push messages at all, if you're getting absolutely no engagement, you don't know what your audience is really thinking. They could be laughing at you. They could be ignoring you. They could be taking what you've written and showing it to somebody else. It goes the same with your own personal Facebook posts. How many times have you been shown someone's Facebook status and the person showing you was rolling their eyes? People are judging without commenting, and then the person's liking it. So you don't know what's going on out there. That's why it's really important to know who your market is. So, enough about that in the psyche of Facebook messages, which I don't want to get into. Let's talk about some pull messages. Okay? Did you know that April is National Toy Month? As a child, what was your favorite toy? So that's engaging, because what we're doing there is we're hitting the target market, which could be, in this case, a parent, with a nostalgic question that could really pull on their heartstrings. Using emotion in your pull is one of the absolute best ways of getting engagement. Now, I'm not saying get all mushy, go out, hug some trees, boo-hoo, cats and babies. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to emotionally connect with our audience. So right here, my audience buys toys, and I'm bringing them back to their childhood to let us know what their favorite toy is. Then, from that information, that piece of content, that one pull message that I'm going to be posting on my Facebook page, they could give me wonderful toys that we haven't thought about in a long time. Then, we could go to a Throwback Thursday, and every one of those examples that were provided, we can actually say, hey, here's the toy. Do you remember it? John Smith. And you could tag that person, or if not, you can just mention them, whatever, or not mention them at all, and just put it as a Throwback Thursday. That person, again, will come back and engage again with that content. See, this is what I was telling you earlier with the steps. You get a poll, and you can turn it into a quiz. You can get a question and turn it into an ongoing themed item. Okay? Another good content idea there, folks. Write that down. So now, another poll example. Are you ready for Christmas? Here is a great resource to help you with your gift buying. Link Perfect. That's great. And that link, by the way, is not going towards Thompson Toys. It's going to a toy buying resource. So maybe a Wall Street Journal article. What are the hottest toys of 2016? Check out this list, courtesy of Consumer Reports. Well, because Thompson Toys stocks a whole lot of different toys from different manufacturers, that Consumer Reports will probably contain some of the toys that we do sell. So I don't mind sending people to Consumer Reports. And that's going to help them with their gift buying because they're going to get a jump on what Johnny and Susie want for Christmas and want from Santa. So there you go for that. Those are your push and your pull examples. So I hope that that is clear. If you have any questions, please, folks, keep them coming in. I'm loving what you're saying. Now, let's go into our next one. So where is all the content? Oh, where's it at? I can't find it. And this is a classic Where's Waldo. I'll give you about 5 seconds to find Waldo. Anybody know where? Anyone see him? Still looking, still looking. Oh, time's up. There he is. All right, so putting Waldo aside, it's always a pleasure to bring him into any sort of presentation. Create an approved content provider list. So what does that look like? It's a sample content list for Thompson Toys. Let's look at this. So approved sources that I would use for content for my audience would be Toyco Magazine, Highlights Magazine, Consumer Reports, The Boston Bugle, and Today's Toy Blog. Toyco Magazine, because it offers all the latest on toys that my audience would be interested in, that I probably sell. Highlights Magazine, because I target that age of boys and girls who enjoy that magazine. So there might be some fun quizzes that I can share. Consumer Reports, for the same reason as Toyco Magazine. Boston Bugle, maybe there's lots of children. I'm a Boston-based business, and they have lots of kids' events that they talk about in their paper, in their event section, so I can share it online. And Today's Toy Blog, maybe it's quick fixes for different video games or how to incorporate products that we sell in new and interesting ways. Maybe it's how there's a certain doll that we sell that helps with a certain educational aspect of a development of a girl or a boy or who knows. So I can have this list, I write it down, and then I can go and check it and add to it as much as I need to. So terrific, right? It's a really great way, and I keep growing, and I can use this to develop my content further. And then keep on curating. Alltop, Google Alerts, and the rest are all wonderful ways for you to curate your own content. Alltop's a personal favorite, and Google Alerts I've talked about 10 million times on my radio shows and in blogs on our website, thegoagencyusa.com. So check out all of those podcasts where I really go into these a little bit deeper. Just write them down now really quickly. And then what we'll do is you can check that out later, or you can ask more questions if you have any more later. All right. Now, 4 rules of sharing content. Okay, folks, you got to be ready for this because this is the big one. Number 1, read everything before you post it. How many times have I found a great piece of content and halfway down I found out that it turned into something much darker? I've done things where they've turned political, where they've turned religious, or where they've just turned downright lewd halfway through the article. Or are you scrolling down and looking at the ads that are all around the article? If you're trying to share information for children to parents, you don't want to have Viagra ads, breast enlargement ads, that type of thing, especially if they are not so great looking. So make sure that you read everything before you post it. Also, come up with your own copy. Here's a great example from Thompson Toys. 5 reasons why boys like to play with trucks. And then that was the article title from Tonk.com. And then here it is. Tonka, can you hear me? Here's why boys can't get enough of toy trucks. And then the link to the blog on trucks from Tonk.com. So change the headline. Don't use their headline. Also, don't overuse a resource. If I'm Thompson Toys and I'm using toys.com/toy bag or just toys.com period over and over again, it looks like we don't have any ideas. And it also looks like we're promoting toys.com, which is going to be detrimental because then, they could be an indirect competitor that you're basically giving your market share to. So make sure to mix up your resources when you're coming up with your content mix. Don't go crazy I know a lot of people will go through Wall Street Journal or Bloomberg if you're a financial company. Well, if you are using Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal, you should really be putting some things on your own blog to drive some traffic to your website. Again, that's a topic I cover a lot in blogs. Also, oh my God, people, never be misleading. That drives me absolutely nuts. No bait and switch. So Thompson Toys, here's a good one. Are you having a tough day? Here's one expert's opinion on how to de-stress. Toys.com/sale. De-stress does not equal a toy sale. So don't do that. You'll lose your audience, you'll hurt yourself with engagement, and people will call you out on your lies. Also, don't send people to a sales page unless you tell them that it's a sales page. This makes me mad because a lot of people are just coming into their own online and they're making these rookie mistakes. Just don't do this. This is an easy thing to rectify. Just don't do it. That's all I gotta say. Next, get visual. This is one of the most important things. I've mentioned this a lot, but I just wanted to give you a couple things that you can use that are really easy and quick that will help you out. Photoshop, obviously, if you want to do some great images. Canva is another great image service that's very affordable and sometimes free to help you make those images with the text on them that I was mentioning earlier. Camtasia and QuickTime are great ways for you to capture video right from your computer. So if you wanted to do a how-to around your website, like here's how to get in touch with us on our website, you could use QuickTime or Camtasia to actually capture your screen and record it, right? And if you have a Mac product, I'm not sure how they are with PCs, but QuickTime comes pre-installed, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, it's just QuickTime Player. No, QuickTime's also a high-definition recorder. So just keep that in mind. Really, really important. Then you can get your visual game up because you want to be on point with visuals. Every piece of content, I believe, that you put out on social media should have some sort of visual attached to it. Whether it's an image, a video, a cartoon, I don't care. Something for people to look at. Because visuals, this presentation without visuals becomes a very different and less engaging. It's black type on a white background. Exciting. But the visuals kind of give you ideas and can make you chuckle and can make you laugh and can make you just engage more. And that's why I put a lot of random visuals in here, just to make it really pop for you and also show you the power of visuals. And here's another one I love. So, what is the secret to social media content success? Well, folks, it's a social media plan. You need to have a social media plan. You need to create one and stick to it. You need to put into your plan the frequency. How often do you want to post? How many times do you want to write a piece of content? So if I have a 7-day week that I'm going to write for, and I'm going to post once a day, that's 7 pieces of content that I have to create and share every week on the site that I choose. Which site? That's the next thing you have to define. What site are you going to start with? Look at your competitive analysis, look at your brand analysis, and decide what sites you really want to focus on your content strategy on first, and then spread it out because there's intricacies to each one of these and also idiosyncrasies. I'm telling you, our podcasts that we've done recently for the Social Marketing Academy on iTunes cover optimization techniques that are excellent. They're all available for free, so just go onto the website and you can check it out. Now, so choosing which sites is very important. Then your content mix. What do you want to put into it? Do you want to do what's going to be your push and your pull? Are you going to do 60-40? Are you going to do 80 pull and 20%? Where are you going to start off with? Then, based on the frequency, take that breakdown and then go forward with it even more. So, when we're looking at when you need to write, I would sit down and complete your content in one sitting every single week or twice a week, whenever you have time. But I really think once a week is good because you can tell a full story in one sitting rather than just grabbing crap out of the air and throwing it on your channels. A lot of people do that, and I think that's, I'm glad that they're on there consistently. But there's no real overriding strategy, I guess. It's a little bit of a downer. I really want you to sit down and think about this as an entire concept. So that's a big one. And then when you're going to post, you need to see when the most active time for your audience is online. You can find that through lots of Google searches as well as looking through your competitive analysis to see when your competitors are posting. So if they're posting on Twitter at 6 a.m. and they're getting like 30 different retweets and favorites, then obviously that's a good time. So why don't you try it? Here's the thing. This is all organic, people. There's not going to be a rule that's going to last forever. So find something and constantly follow it and chase it. You're chasing that perfection point you're never going to get to, but you're going to get closer to. And the closer you are to that heat, you're going to catch fire, which is good. You're going to get more engagement, and you're really going to, know more about your audience than you ever did. Then an editorial calendar. This comes off of your curated list. Say there's things that you want to talk about next month. What I always suggest is if you're going to do an editorial calendar, do it towards the end of a month. So for example, let's say the last week. This is the last week in August, right? I'm sorry, August. Oh my gosh, I'm like flash forwarding so far ahead. I'm so ahead of myself. We are ending July. So this is the last week of July. And now I would start sitting down with my production team, which we have already, and coming up with the editorial calendar for our social media clients. We're going to look at all the events that they have coming up. We're going to look at any national holidays that we can tie into that client. We're looking at if they're going to go to any networking events, if they're going to go to exhibitions, if they have media appearances, if they're going to be on, if they are going to be at any ceremonies. We want to know everything that's going on. That way, we can write that down on their editorial calendar as something that we can't miss during that week. Then we develop content around it. You can also create an overriding arch of content that would help you truly define that. Now, so this is just a breakdown of everything that I said. I wanted to speak you through it rather than just you reading it because I think that that's a little bit more effective. Overriding concept on your social media content schedule. You just need to get organized. This content is not something that just flies out. It is something that takes time. You have to develop it. You have to understand your target market. You have to understand what content mix is. You have to understand what content is going to give you the best amount of engagement. You need to know what your competitors are doing, what your indirect competitors are doing. I know this sounds like a lot, folks, and some people out there may think I'm overcomplicating it. I'm only doing this because so many people are getting it incorrect. And I want to help everyone out there. I'm not saying that you're doing it wrong. I'm saying that there's elements of this, if you're not doing it already, that can really get you more success in your content than you are currently. Because, how many times are we getting stuck? I don't know how many times we sit down in a meeting and it's kind of like, oh, wait, anybody have some new ideas? We need to breathe some life into this client. We're getting bored with the content. We want to really ramp up engagement. And this is how you should be with your company. By following a social media content schedule, you'll really be able to achieve that. So I really want you to think about all of these aspects when you're coming up with your own content. Well, how about if it's all too much, folks? If it is all too much and you need help, then the Go Agency can help. Our team have been in business for 6 years, developing, executing, and advising companies on social media that gets results. Our social media marketing campaigns are delivered by hand by my team of very qualified experts, and we work on your campaign every single day. We talk about your content every single day. Every single day is the word here. What sets us apart from other agencies is the fact that we care. We care, and we don't automate our processes. We put value in real-time interaction, and then that's what we get for you. So if you want to do the social media yourself, but you need help with content, we can help you develop it and write it. You need training, we can help you there as well. So there's lots of different things that we can help you with at the Go Agency. So please feel free to call us today. There's our phone number and our website address. So after this is over, what I'll do is I will send you directly to one of the pages on our